Hey people, Intro here, 53, Typhon Maya, blue team. Machine Elf as a Lictor Alpha, a melee specialist, infiltrate and disrupt, some powerful offense and a bit of support alongside. A simple Arc as a Warlock, a melee spellcaster that leaps into combat, some powerful disruption and support. Same hand elite scheme here. Rounding off the blues, Bulbus as a Kommando Knob, infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style, begins with a twin link shooter. Red team, Sinister with an Eversor Assassin, a risk-reward melee brawler that explodes on death. Alongside, Puercodios with a Lord General, fighting in ranged combat begins with a retinue of Stormtroopers, very strong defense and support can also add to the retinue. And rounding off the teams, Excal with an Apothecary, support hero fighting in melee by default, begins to heal, and a passive health regeneration aura. They are on the south side, this kind of resource lane here against the Kommando. Looks like puercodios is going to help out a bit. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. Back towards the mid. The Strat squad have found some Hormagaunts and they should tear through them early on here. Hormagaunts with no upgrade. Stormtroopers weighing in with fire soda termagants. They may wipe those Hormagaunts. No, I think that fella's far enough away. Eversor ran. The Stormtroopers ate a Destructor from the Warlock. I'm not sure if you saw that, and they ran off. And the Strat squad, I think, are okay. Yes, no model losses on those fellas. The blue team will take the mid. It was 2v1 against Sinister, basically, because puercodios came south to help out, which meant the red team pushed through. But they did not get onto the power. There's some Orks waiting. Now, the Lord General needs to be careful that they don't get doubled as they go back to the mid. But it seems like they had some support from Excal, who got a little flank on those Guardians. Meanwhile, Warlock gets through, decaps the power, maybe even caps it. Stormtroopers were not reinforced, by the way. I think it's because... No, I don't know why. I was going to say because they want double Strat squad, but they already have the double Strat squad. There should be pretty solid backbone in Tier 1 for Sinister, especially with the Eversor running around tearing things up as well. Mid is turning red now, thanks to the Apothecary. Eversor on contested northern power. Rangers on the field for a simple Arc. Getting their Pathfinder gear gives them rifles and stuff. Machine Elf now with Warrior Brood. That'll help against the double Strat squad. So would a power weapon on the Lictor Alpha. No sign of it yet. Sentinel up, of course, for the Lord General. Apothecary goes down to a bunch of Orky Daka. Big shooters on the double shooter boys. And they are persuaded to back off. Kommando goes sneaky. Oh, maybe not. There he goes. And there's those Ranger shots. This could be dicey. Lord General goes for a quick revive. Kinetic Pulse knocked down both of them. And I don't think the Apothecary is going to get away here. Slugger's going in, and they do get him down again. Should get revived once more quite easily. Double Strat squad. One of them with the Tomes of Titan. There's the Banishment. Any grenades? There's one. And here comes a Warrior Brood and upgraded Hormagaunts. All of a sudden, this fight is looking quite risky for the double Strat squad here. Warlock also helping out. Could get the Merciless Witchblade, perhaps, because there's an Assault squad. Also, Ordo Malleus typically rely on abilities quite a lot, so being able to drain energy from stuff with a Merciless Witchblade is quite nice. It's good damage too. You'll threaten those Strat squad in melee quite a lot. But we'll see what they go for. Maybe they want Witchblade of Kernus in Tier 2. Catachin's backing away here from the Tyranids. Need to try and focus down that Warrior Brood because they're a Synapse creature, providing defensive buffs to Hormagaunts and Termagants and other non-Synapse creatures. But they also Synapse backlash when they die. And they may drop a model here. Catachin's run. Assault squad in amongst the Warrior Brood, who are already low. Eversor popping their Psychon, increasing their damage and damage resistance, but you spend health to activate it as their starting ability. And they've got themselves a new pistol. The Executor pistol is in. I'm sure they've already used it. Look at that, Warrior Brood. Probably like 95 hit points. They got away with 3 models there. Kind of lucky. Eversor's found some Eldar. Both the Guardians have grenades now. 2-1 for red. Can they hold the mid? Those Storm Boys jumping in. Jump troops with power melee weapons, big threat to those Marines, but they are outnumbered there. Eldar coming in with some support, maybe a bit early on that jump. There's a stun bomb. Does stun attacks who run. Lots of damage on the assault squad. Looks like they're okay. Looks like also we have the Immolator. Indeed we do. You can tell because his sword is on fire. The Warlock there. That's going to be great against those double guardsmen if they blob up. Can throw the Immolate and then throw the Destructor in and it really messes them up. Guardians dropping models. Grenade. Guardians do get away, but that was close. A simple arc now with a Guardian weapon team. But they're idle right now, are they? No, they're moving. Up in the north, Lictor Alpha and upgraded Hormagaunts against double strike squad, double Termagants also helping out with Toxin Sacks. So that was a tough fight for the strike squad and they seem to have done quite well. Impact Grenade is nicely used by the Stormtroopers. And we do see a power weapon for the Lictor Alpha. They've got the Feeder Tendrils, almost 64 power melee DPS. And a heal on hit, which is quite handy. There's the Executioner pistol doing its thing. Does damage over time and slows you down. And Psychon has been popped as well. Lictor Alpha persuaded to leave. 383 to 471. Red team now mobbing the south again. Doubling up. Apothecary's got a customized Stormbolter. Allows him to support from range and shut down an important enemy model such as a hero with full auto. Sluggers have their burners. Stormboys again maybe jumped in a little bit quick there. I think maybe they were trying to shut down those Devastators so other things could approach. But that grenade, I think that was a scout grenade, went in there. It was quite nasty. It's a lot of firepower against Bulbus. And the assault squad jumping in there. Orks have to retreat. They may lose their power on this side. And the blue team now double through the mid a bit. Unless the Warlock... Oh, the Warlocks come to defend the south. There's the Immolates. Then they get full autoed in the face, I think. And then they run. I guess the Sentinel went down. I missed that. Grenades on the Lord's General. No. Derek and Nigel down. So is the Lord's General. We'll have to find a new Derek and a new Nigel. But there's the revive from the Apothecary. Ogren's on the way now for puercodios. Res, please, says the Lord General, and they got it. Now they're power bashing. They should get a full bash, you would think. Back towards the contested VP in the mid-north. Lictor Alpha on some double strike squad, and the strike squad go down. These guys are going to be okay, though, I think. And I believe they both had Tomes of Titan. That was a... Yeah, look how much stuff is there. You can't send double strike squad into that. I mean, I get that they wanted to contest the mid a bit, but went a bit too deep into that fight. Storm Boys in tier 2 with their Nob leader, who has a heavy melee weapon and stuns you when he lands on you. There's a creeping barrage from the Lord's General, one of his global abilities. Fantastic disruption, as you can see. Catachin's helping out too, with a grenade barrage. Did they get a full bash? I don't think they did, actually. Blue team were on the defense quite quickly. Some late Howling Banshees out in tier 1 for a simple luck. This can often throw players off when all of a sudden they need to deal with the Howling Banshee squad when they didn't before. We'll see how the red team deal with it. They got some Ogrins. Heavy melee frontline units that can disrupt and draw fire. Good damage to all targets as well. Sinister with the Grey Knight Dreadnought into Vindicator Assassin Excal with Librarian. Bulbus with a Weird Boy. There's Use Your Red from the Ogrins to knock stuff over. It triggers twice. Once when you activate it, and then once, I think it's 4 seconds later. It's pretty damn nice. Assault squad get away without a loss. They have their Sergeant Ogrins doing great work here, but they are eventually focused down enough. Look at that now. Immolate doing some work. Stun Bomb trucked in there too. Are you guys going to get away? 3 hit points, and they do somehow get away. So does the Lord's General. Devastator's setting up over there. Tyranids have pushed through, and they found a Grey Knight Dreadnought, which now has a plasma cannon, which means, as you see here, it no longer has a melee weapon and therefore no longer has a melee attack. So it couldn't fight back against that Warrior Brood. And Venom Brood dropped in. Anti-vehicle units for Tyranids. The Lictor Alpha can drop them into combat. Jeans to the Brood in base there. They wiped out the strike squad. I can't see their bodies anywhere. That back here, maybe is that them? Really tough fight for Sinister, and they lose the Dreadnought. Really tough fight. Eversor down, both the Strat Squad down, Dreadnought down. That's heavy losses there. Weird Boy's really low. Looks like he's alright for now. Doing some friendly fire to the Eldar. Librarian runs, does have the Psychic Hood for Gates of Infinity. Can help out those Assault Marines, so can be super aggressive with them now. We have Melter Gun, Lord General here. Can Sinister recover? We've got a decent chunk of resources. I think they can recover. What do you recover with, though? Hard to say. Gene Stealers will mess up most of their units. I don't think you want to fight them head on with Purifiers or anything. Could just grab a Rhino and try to support puercodios, as long as you can keep it away from the Venom Brood, of course. Autarch jumps in, or rather drops in and then runs away. Howling Banshees getting smacked around. Here comes Storm Boys, though, and they will do a lot of damage to the Ogrins with their power weapons. Sluggers also follow them in. Get away with 3 models, though, that's alright. And they still push through the red team. Weird Boy throws the zap, but it cost them. It cost them their mistake from Bulbus. The zap animation is longer than you'd think. Kind of holds his staff out for a while. Sinister is going for Purifiers. They could use the axe maybe for kill zone to help out with those melee fights. Rangers are wiped. Might get a full power bash here. Is that the same zap still going? Look. That's pretty effective. There's another Weird Boy on the way for Bulbus, which I think is a good shout. They're fighting full infantry armies. Weird Boy's great at helping you with that. Gene Stealer Brood healing on hit these guys. They are melee superiority and now supported by melee synapse, which increases their health by 40% and even more melee skill. I think that takes them up to 90. I think they start with 80 melee skill, which is a lot. Melee skill governs how often you perform disruptive special attacks on enemy units, and also lowers the chance that they are performed upon you. So it's really important for a melee squad. They often win melee fights if you can get a special attack. Purifies in combat here. This is not going to go well. They used their Cleansing Flame to try to silence stuff, but they got absolutely decimated there. Maybe you try to get some like double purgation up or something to try and just control the movement of those Tyranids. But it's tough. It's tough for Sinister. They need support in the mid, that's for sure. Kommando Knob has gone down. A simple Arc has a Wraith Ball somewhere. Orks destroying stuff on retreat. Red team are reeling. Excal goes tier 3 though. 349 to 315. They're not too far behind on VPs. Lictor Alpha is going to get a revive here. Don't think it's going to get down level 4 though. Creeping barrage again. Storm Boys jump in, but they're a bit low. Shotgun blast on the sluggers maybe. Oh no, they don't have the energy for it. Maybe they used it already. Sluggers dying in droves, but I think the Knob Leader is going to get away. Ogrins I don't think can catch him. Warlock, you got any more war gear, bud? Yes, you do have a Champion's Robe. There you see that Psychic Shield going up. Weird Boy with a Warp Vomit. Ogrins doing some good work here, and they really need to as well. They need to kind of carry through the red team a bit here. There's another Dreadnought for Sinister. Can this one fare better? Tyranids pushing through, by the way. They're not resting on their laurels. They are bashing natural power completely. Here's the second Dreadnought. Do you go melee Dreadnought here to fight the Warriors and the Gene Stealers? Nope, they're going Plasma Cannon again, which means it's under massive threat from those melee units. Lictor Alpha is down. Apothecary level 4 with Purification Rites. It's going to help if they get mobbed by melee Tyranid stuff. Where's the Wraith Lord? Just hanging out in the mid. with a shoulder-mounted shuriken cannon, anti-infantry damage. Eversor twitching down on that VP. Tier 3 for Machine Elf. Lots of red for Sinister. So they may want tier 3 for a nuke, and nuke could make a big difference here. Anti-armor stormtroopers on the field. So they've seen that Wraith Lord now. Apothecary knocked over. What's he getting knocked over by? Didn't quite catch that. It seemed to just be bullets. Maybe it was a domino knockback or something. Wraith Lord getting big swings on those Ogrins. Ogrins have to leave. Red team need to be very careful that they don't get overrun here. Was that high explosive shells? I think it was, yep. From the special shooter. Dreadnought needs to be careful with friendly fire here. Getting some good hits on the Howling Banshees, but needs to be careful. Doesn't want to get tied up by the Wraith Lord. And here come all the Tyranids, including the Venom Brood. It is moving back, as it should. Sinister down to just 2 squads. Excal down to a single squad of tactical marines. I think the blue team have this surely in the bag. They've been under a lot of pressure in the south, but they've done very well through the mid, the blue team. And now that's paying off big time, because Sinister wasn't really able to recover super well. It was tough for them to recover. And now Excal needs to recover. Puercodios asking for a nuke, if anyone has one. Excal does have one, but maybe they want Terminators. Not sure what Sinister means by need strode. Excal with a whirlwind on the way to try and disrupt these big infantry mobs. A simple arc got some Wraith Guard. They're going to power bash again. 349 to 190. Decent flank here from the Lord General. Gets rid of all the Tyranids. They can take the mid back. How's about that? Has there been a lot of pressure on their natural victory point from the blue team, which they may regret later, but they're still way ahead here. Autark on the field has the Executioner. Miraculously hasn't died yet. Did they cancel the whirlwind and start it again? Seems like it. Sinister's Dreadnought did survive, at least. And that is going to be helpful in the mid, as long as it has a bunch of support. There's still a bunch of bodies in front of it, you know? So it can't just get mobbed immediately. They're going to try and steal this northern contested power here. Blue team getting their way back to the mid. There's the Lictor Alpha. There's a bunch of Orks. A simple arc with more Guardians up. Late in tier 2 for some reason. And they already have double Guardians for repairs, so it's not for repairs, I don't think. Swarm Lord on the way for Machine Elf. That's bad news for the red team. Can they possibly hold on and get anything done here? Where's the Whirlwind? Whirlwind is coming towards the front line. There's an Orbital from Excal. Some decent hits. They might be able to blow them into another hit. I think they wiped Shooter Boys and killed a bunch of models, but I think maybe they needed more than that from their nuke. It wasn't a bad nuke, but they need a lot. The Dreadnought tries to leave, being chased by all sorts of terrifying things. Eversor Assassin runs away. And it's close to base, but the Wraith Lord could just run into base and go after it. Venom Brood still giving chase there. 335 to 171. Excal now with their Predator tank on the way, but here comes a Knob Squad for Bulbus. Swarm Lord already on the way too. Ogrin's really low. Need to run, fellas. That's a Genes to the Brood there. They're still in. Got some good disruption going. And there they are running. That was a good play actually from puercodios. Got the disruption and stayed in as long as they could and got away safely. Eversor in on the Venom Brood. Level 2. Doesn't really want to fight this stuff though. I don't think I've seen this Warrior Brood drop a model ever. You seem very difficult to kill at the moment. There's the retreat from the Tyranids. Still can't get a model off this warrior brood. Central VP is uncapped. Excal's tank needs to be very wary of many things, such as a knob squad that will crunch anything to death. One-to-one cap. Eldar on the mid. Whirlwind needs to get a bit closer, I think. Don't think that's close enough to hit the central VP, which is where you want it. You want it around here where the Dreadnought is. I guess it's focusing on the Orks right now. Trying to disrupt. Tank moving away as it should. Plasma cannon, can you get a good shot there? A decent shot. Rocket run coming in from puercodios. Decent hits. I'm not sure if it wiped anything, man. Lictor is bugged, says Machine Elf. Let's have a look at him. Yeah, looks pretty bugged. Whirlwind goes down. Maybe if the Lictor Alpha dies, they'll like wake up. Oh, there's a retreat. Maybe that'll fix it. That's a weird bug. I don't think I've seen that before. The dawn of bugs always surprise you. Puercodios with a Baneblade. Red team not out of it yet. They've put up a hell of a fight here. Their natural got decapped, but the central VP is still decapped as well. Blue team need to focus a bit more on VPs maybe. This tank is done for, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure why it went that way. But tanks do weird things. Swarm Lord. Taking some shots and also some hits from Ogrins. Don't think they can get him down though. There's a revive on the Lord General. Gets a level 6 Apothecary. I wonder how the Lictor Alpha's doing right now. Has he woken up from his stupor? Single cap for the blue team. Excal with some more Assault Marines on the way. Sinister with Grey Knight Terminators on the way. Can they tough it out with this Baneblade? Again, the Warrior Brood is not dropping models. Level 4 now. Baneblade taking huge amounts of damage. Friendly fire on the attacks. They do get a heal though. And they survive. Baneblade still under threat. Ogrins did get some reinforcements and they're coming back out to defend. Warrior Brood still going. Have they been forgotten about, this Warrior Brood? Machine Elf says it's fixed, so I guess the Lictor Alpha's working now. Warrior Brood wipe. And Lictor Alpha goes down. Warrior Brood, I didn't see them drop a single model and then just wipe. Machine Elf might have been focusing on seeing if the Lictor Alpha was behaving. Grey Knight Terminators instantly get stunned. And they have a lot of things to worry about here. Oh, Stormboy's jumping away from them into the back lines. And they are getting torn up by the Dreadnought back there. Meanwhile, though, Knob Squad versus the Grey Knight Terminators is a tough fight. A tough fight for both of them, but a Knob Squad will generally win it if they have all their upgrades and stuff. They had some weird boy support there as well. Baneblade back towards the mid. Desperately needs repairs, and there's a Rocks. Here come a bunch of Eldar. Baneblade is showing rear armor to the Eldar and took a whole bunch of Rocks, and it's not being repaired. It should have been repaired all the way through that from puercodios. 335 to 13. There's an orbital which hits not a lot. Red team putting up a hell of a fight, but not helping themselves when they don't repair their stuff and that kind of thing. Warlock died over there. Back towards the mid now, and Dreadnought falls. GG, says puercodios. I mean, they They hung on. Blue team still haven't capped this VP. What are they up to? Does it keep getting decapped by something? What level is that Warlock? Level 5 with channeling runes. The Warlock has gone for the VP there. Rocket run. Oh, not quite close enough to that VP to knock the Warlock off it. Oh, there we go. The second run got him. Strangled Thorn Cannon Carnifex. Lehman Russ on the way for the Lord General. Grey Knight Terminator is back with their Incinerator. They're going to go after Gene Stealers. That's the target they want to go after. Gene Stealers are level 4, so they're scary Gene Stealers. But they were dealt with. And blue team couldn't cap the mid. They're still not out of it somehow. Excal with a Dreadnought on the way. Now are they going to go Assault Cannon to try and disrupt with the barrage? Or melee to meet those Orks head on? There's an Eldritch from Simple Arc. Some friendly fire there. Actually quite a lot of it. That seemed to be a strange place to put the Eldritch. I guess they were aiming for the Ogrins, but there was a lot of friendly units there. Yeah, Bulbus seems quite confused by that nuke as well. Eldar are capping mid. There's the 2-to-1. And we'll see if the red team can pull anything out here to stop this cap. Well, the Carnifex has gone down. Executioner Lehman Russ. Dreadnought is in its default melee state. Goes after the Swarm Lord. There's a GG. There's a 2-to-1. And there is the game. Red team held on, but they were struggling since like the end of tier 2. Basically, Sinister just couldn't recover from those losses. And then Excal took heavy losses and also couldn't quite recover. By the end, they had some decent stuff. But they just couldn't have that big pivotal fight kind of thing. Lictor Alpha down, who malfunctioned at some point. I guess he lost connection to the hive mind and got confused. Warlock level 5. A level 6 Kommando with that special shooter. Level 4 Eversor Assassin down. Level 8 Lord General. And the Apothecary, level 7, did have Armor of the Apothecarian at the end. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.